welcome to the Magic of Boots 75th episode. This is Ronnie. We have Shudipta. We had a little bit of break thanks to our own um, busy timing. But how are you doing in overall?
Okay.
Okay.
How about you?
Same. A lot of thing has changed. A lot of injuries in between, but that's fine. Part of life. Um,
In that case, I already topped Dembele.
Yeah, no, I get you, but I was scared. Especially I had a soccer game and there was a bad clash. Um,
Oh,
that was yesterday. I had a knee to knee kind of.
oh, was
Uh,
it?
yeah, that was bad.
If it's
Uh,
cold, I can feel you.
yeah, no, it was more of a 50-50 ball going all in.
Oh,
But eventually, it's all good. I can still walk. I have a knee. Um,
I don't.
Coming back, I mean, a lot has happened since we stopped or we recorded last time. I think Arsenal's form and our recording has some kind of coincidence. No pun,
Actually,
no pun
it
intended.
depend. Actually, it depended on Kim Kardashian's video call.
Okay,
After that, Argentina, Arsenal was going.
okay. I don't want to even go there. On serious note, where we wanna because there's a lot has happened and a lot of leagues have
Yeah,
almost like wrapped up. Do you wanna go and talk on like briefly over each of the leagues and probably come back? Um,
yeah, yeah. Like more likely, I think there were some interesting game. Like I watched a few, not like I always did before. Also, the thing is that it's hard to prepare for games when you have other things to do. Like if we have even 5 or 3 minutes of recording, we have to work at least 30 minutes before
yeah.
um, for a game. So it's too much already. So I could not actually do that, but I wanted to do just before the Arsenal versus City game. I wanted to do some like strength and technical analysis, but it well, well, I didn't do it. Well,
So
I think it's a good thing.
so Arsenal fans, any Arsenal fans watching, you know who to blame. There's a traitor.
Yeah, they could have had them in a lot of ways, but for some reason it didn't happen.
But overall, I mean, there was a bit of sign Arsenal probably could not keep it up as long as it's
No,
been.
it went down to really margin of like small margin of errors and like some personal errors, not in like tactical levels, but also I guess like most of the players are like 21, 22
Hmm.
of this age.
Hmm.
You need someone like more experienced or like a trophy
Like
winner,
okay,
and
like
they
Gabriel
were
Jesus.
missing. Yeah, Jesus was there, but I think they went over some matches throughout the season because of the emotions they have, sort of like Liverpool. Um, but emotions are emotions couldn't be, how can I say? Uh, you need to keep your
Emotions,
head
yeah,
down in,
exactly.
yeah, eh, in
You
some
have
matches,
you have to
certain matches,
utilize it.
especially if you are, yeah, and also like. That Liverpool game, I guess it's like referee was behaving sort of like strange
Hmm.
towards Liverpool, and like after yeah, after the first half, that incident happened with what's his name, uh, Robertson,
Hmm. And
uh,
and
which
Robertson, yeah,
linesman, yeah.
yeah.
So after that, like referees were like giving all the 50-50 chances towards Liverpool to make them happy or something. It feels like that way
Yeah, yeah.
because some decisions are, and it actually like, how can I say, clicked. for some reason, because like Enfield is like a, how can I say, fortress to go there and to win and stuff like that, and
And
they hang on that match
just to add
actually
to
for.
that, I think Jurgen Klopp have constantly been moaning about should not have said that word, but complaining about the referees for a long, long time, and even his antics
Yeah,
in the fourth referees and stuff like that. I think that builds some kind of pressure.
yeah, of
Um,
course, and also like what happened with Shaka uh, in the first half. You don't actually like stomp. He shouldn't actually stomp into that
yeah, he has given that
Trent Alexander.
excuses.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Also, like the referees after the referee incident, it was like referee was trying to like, like once you make a mistake and you want to make it right, but you couldn't make it right. Where you are you are affecting your like how can I say, future decisions. So like
Yeah,
whenever there was like 50-50, how can I say, situations like
there's no
the
50-50
media,
situation. It was immediately given to
and
Liverpool. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So that
Um,
actually changed the game also.
Fair enough. But you think that game has swung the the season for against actually Arsenal? I mean, something has happened.
No, I think that's not it actually. I think after they were actually surprised by West Ham in the next match in London Stadium. So the problem was that like they did not expect West Ham to come back and on that game. But Boyan, whenever he's playing against Arsenal, he's like brilliant. So he scored a goal, the second one.
And it
So
did
he
make
was doing
sense
brilliant.
for them to go against Arsenal because they were sitting at the relegation zone or very close to relegation
Yeah,
zone,
yeah, yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah, it was like like they have their back on the wall, so
exactly,
they have to go.
exactly.
So yeah, like that sort of situations happened a lot. And whenever these sort of situations, like you drew like two games in a row or something like
Mhm.
that, and they came back in the next game, okay, but the build up to that City games, like they drew two more games, so that actually killed the like the advantages. And City has to like, if City did not win that game or just they make a draw, they are still going to the top. So Arsenal have to come up with something, and that sort of situation you need some a little bit less emotional player. Um, you know, so that actually made the whole difference actually.
Um, yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. The moment Arsenal went back, I mean,
Also,
yeah, go
yeah, also like they should have played with Trossard, because Trossard was brilliant before that game. Like whenever he is playing, he is making assist and making those runs. So, and the thing is that like overplaying Gabriel Martinelli did not work because he is out of the season like for the last two matches. He, I think he hurt his ligament in the last match, so he could not. He will not play. So like there were injury problems as well. Actually, Rob Holding is not like a natural successor of Saliba. That is they scored a lot, and whenever Haaland was making those runs, he looked a little bit shaky in that game. Uh, their defensive structure was not good, and after losing that 1v1 battle with against Trent Alexander-Arnold, Zinchenko was not actually he was trying to overdo sort of things, but he shouldn't do that actually, because he is amazing throughout the whole season, but he was trying to overdo or try to prove himself, but he should have actually known his value. But he's also like out of the season as well. Like Tierney is the only defender left on the left side, and Ben White is the only defender left in the right side. And the game against Brighton actually killed Premier League, because if City wins today, they are the champion,
Well,
which they're
which
more
would
likely.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
But against Brighton, like when Karu Mitoma was playing on the right against Tierney, he couldn't actually make a sniff, and in the second half they switched the position, and when he was like doing this 1v1 runs against Ben White. Ben White is not like a good 1v1 defenders. So like as you can see, like it's a good title run. Um, Almost to the end. There are some bits and pieces, but they are back in the Champions League. So that's another thing. You cannot actually compromise Champions League in the next season or middle of the season. So then they will need more players, like top players, like at around a certain age profile, like 23, 24, 25, this sort of age profile.
and I think I have a little bit of criticism of Arteta. A little bit, not much. I think whenever Arsenal went back into the game, I mean, they've considered a goal. They look like coming with all cylinders firing, but they're like say 70 minutes or 60 minutes left of the game, right? And so
Mhm.
there has to have some kind of belief that they can turn it around, and they went
Yeah,
like almost like 80 plus minutes sort of attitude, like they have to get goal now. Sometime
yeah,
that led to second goal and more.
mhm, yeah,
So I think there was a bit of panic, and you're right about emotions. Emotions were high,
yeah,
running high, and you have to manage your emotions on the field, and manage those situations, and you need players for that.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. And also, yeah, Jorginho actually helped a lot. Not
He
like
did,
in,
he did.
uh,
Yeah, he was
not
actually.
like in.
I was pleasantly surprised with him. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. The thing is that like he's limited in certain ways, because he's not like we discussed about his passing range is not that actually far. Also, like it's not like good. Yeah, but also the thing Arteta did actually, he sort of created a 4-4 situation when they are defending. So it actually, because like before that, Jorginho, whenever Jorginho was like, or Partey was like a sole how can I say, midfielder in front of the defense, he had to run a lot. But with Granit Xhaka dropped in, he did not have to run, so that much. And also like in the counter attack, he was actually pushed up, and Granit Xhaka sometimes like covering his back. So it actually like the coordination between those two actually worked a lot, and that actually saves them towards this end actually, in certain games. So they need a player with a little bit composure like Jorginho,
hmm
because
hmm
Jorginho, so I don't know how old he's, like 31, 32, I don't know.
looked like a dinosaur. I mean, sorry, it looked like a dinosaur age, but coming
No, no,
back,
he's not, like he's almost my age.
I didn't mean that. Um,
Well, I'm not a footballer, so like
coming back to, but let's talk about how brilliant has been Manchester City since
oh yeah,
say January, right? Or
April,
even
January,
February.
February.
February, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They haven't lost any game since February. Thing is that like City could, like everyone knew that City can do that sort of runs. They did before with Liverpool. They were actually 1 point behind with a game in hand at certain point. I think it was like 2 years ago, and since then they did not lose any game, and they win the Premier League at the end, like with 100 points. No, no, not that one. The one after Liverpool won. So like they have these sort of runs already. The players are experienced, and the thing is that like they have a solid base with like some players, like for example, Ruben Diaz has experience, Stones has experience. Okay, he was not actually playing that much, but like since Guardiola decided to play without a left back, he's playing well.
Well, at least
Uh,
he's better than Kamavinga. Let's put it that way.
well, Kamavinga, I feel for Kamavinga actually. He's not like, but he's doing well.
Yeah.
Comparatively, like he's a brilliant ball player. His passing range is like really good, really good. Uh,
Okay, back to City.
but he's
Yeah.
yeah. But the
Um,
thing is that like with the if you remember, like we have this conversation with like about City, like whenever they were building up, because Haaland, have you seen Haaland like in that Real Madrid game? His touches were so heavy. I was texting my friend like he looks like his first touches was like really horrible, horrible. But not
re-
in
re-
disrespect,
yeah.
but the thing is that
Some Lord
like,
of the Rings character with the snowball. Uh,
well, thing is that like if you remember that I think it was in January or before World Cup or after World Cup, around that this sort of time. Um, we like I was showing on the board like they have a gap in that on that left side, and
mhm,
they were trying to fill it up with like at first with uh, Cancelo pushing up,
mhm,
uh, and with or like Gundogan or whoever playing on that position, or Bernardo Silva sometimes like dropping in. But the problem is that like they have different shape since Haaland was playing, because like the front two normally they used to press a lot, the center backs. So after that, like everyone like man against one v one, one v one. So, but the thing is that like with Haaland, they could not actually do that.
no,
Haaland is an excellent runner, but his positioning is not like and also he doesn't actually drop in that much.
no, no, fair enough.
So they
But
sort of like have like
he
a
makes sure that
4-1 situation. Yeah,
he makes sure the defenders are occupied.
yeah,
he's,
yeah,
he's
yeah,
brilliant.
yeah. But if you don't do it like effectively, for example, like you don't have to be a big player to
No,
do that actually, like
exactly.
Julian Alvarez.
Mhm. He
um
works rate is so hard. He
yeah,
works so hard.
yeah, not only work hard, he works actually like really smart, and it makes and with hard work it makes him like, how can I say, unbeatable whenever he was pressing. So like defenders don't want to go that way actually. And the thing is that like it sort of created a 4-1 situation with like normally they have like a front five in the like in the final stage of the build up, 5-3-2 or something like that actually, or 5-2-3 to control everything. Like one of the midfielder drops in and one of the midfielder pushed up. Normally it's De Bruyne. So yeah, like they have a gap on that left side or right side. It depends. Rodri could not cover all the spaces, so they needed someone in the middle. So he played different players. It was not solved, and then finally he solved it with like pushing, creating a new position like a floating center back with Stones. It's like one of the brilliant solution. I think one team only played about like 100 years ago.
Yeah, it's very ancient. It's almost
Yeah,
dinosaur age.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, almost 100 years ago, like in the Premier League or Spanish League, I
some
forgot actually.
some
But yeah, like
Austrian team, and
Austrian League, yeah,
yeah, and
yeah.
then yeah. Again,
Oh yeah,
it's
that guy was like he was the brainchild of all those pressing stuff. So
exactly.
I forgot his name actually. Yeah, but he brought up that ancient, I don't know, cars or something. so, since then, like city is possessed. They don't actually lose those sort of, like whenever you were attacking, um, then you need like constant refueling, stuff like that, and like constant reloading or stuff like that.
Almost like wave
And
after wave. Yeah.
yeah, wave after wave. And Jack Grealish, like in the beginning of the season, like when everyone was criticizing, and I still remember like one of those episode I was saying like he's going to be their most important player, because like um, Sterling could not actually, how can I say, he was not actually defensively that much active. So does Leroy Sané, but Jack Grealish, like if you have seen that tackle, I think it was one of those games like in February.
Hmm.
They should have lost, but I think Grealish scored once or twice or something like that actually, and they just went over that line, and Grealish made a tackle like he was sprinting, I guess, like how much 60 years, and then
Was it against
I
Lister?
no, like a really speedy right winger. I forgot who's there.
Uh,
There were so many games
yeah,
overlaps actually.
yeah. I can.
Yeah, but he was the man of the match on that game. So far I remember.
I think City won that 2-1 or something.
Yeah, yeah. I think Leeds, yes,
Probably.
or
Yeah, you're correct. Probably.
probably against Leeds. He was sprinting like almost 60 years and make that tackle actually. Also, AK was doing well like so far since the World Cup. And yeah, then all those dramas were happening, and City was still could not find a solution actually. Like they were trying to dropping a player, but it's like sorry, 2-3-4-1 or something like this sort of thing. And yeah, with they needed a refuel, and Jack Grealish's performance, like especially defensive rate, and no one like since like last 2 months, like in the up until beginning middle of April, he was basically unplayable because nobody could touch him whenever he was dribbling. It feels like he was like floating past all of them, and it's like a ghost or something like that. Also, that actually helped a lot. Now they have like a more strong, like their left hand side is more stronger than their right hand side now, because at times they were actually leaning towards their right. Now it's more like balance. So that actually helped a lot. And also like Stones, how he adapted that position,
I think it was
it's
brilliantly made
unbelievable.
for him, whatever the situation is. I think
Yeah, actually,
I
exactly.
now I can't believe he ever actually started as a playing as a center back, and he does like it's really
Yeah.
made for him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually, he was a defensive midfielder before, like in academy
that's
level or
true.
something like that.
That's true. That's true. But
Yeah.
again,
So
so used to see him
academy is
exactly.
yeah. But yeah, like so like so many players have like transition. Like Ben White, uh, I think he started as a wing back or something like that. In Brighton, he was a center back, and now Tomiyasu is the same. Um, just because of pace, he is playing in the right. Um, I think so many players have that, so many
Yeah,
transitions
a
going
lot of
on.
them. Yeah.
Willock has a brilliant one.
Well, one of the bigger name is Sergio Ramos. Used to be right back, and then he transitioned
Yeah,
into center back. So yeah,
yeah,
happens with certain players with certain kind of skill set.
yeah, yeah, true. Yeah, I also like. I think it's if you can write like run for 90 minutes. I don't think anyone is a bad player. It depends on the team and techniques, and everything is going on your way.
If you can run for 90 minutes, if you no, if you still don't have a good touch and doesn't have a good decision making, probably doesn't really
Well,
matter.
well, that counts like that to like how can I say? from the players, attitude and willing to learn something and that sort
For
of
sure,
things. But
for sure.
if you are playing in the top level and if you can run for like 90 minutes, you can do anything basically. But the thing is that
But
it depends on team tactics,
here's my
situations,
question. So
and then there comes actually decisions. You know.
fair enough. Here's my question. So um, this team has been so strong, Manchester City. Um, I mean, they were on certain games. They looked vulnerable. I mean, between the February
Yeah.
to now, especially in the Premier
Yeah.
League. Um, what is the difference between them and say someone like Arsenal?
I think experience, also physicality. Everyone, I think now some media people are paying attention, but City players are like physically really fit and really strong and like really tall. They are winning all the second balls in the midfields. Like if you talk about Rodri, Stones, like normally center backs are like really, how can I say, tall guys. Um, uh, Akanji, relatively small, but he's still 6 foot. He's still winning all those aerial battles. Uh, who's else? Eke, he's a brilliant defender. Um, thing is that like they are winning all those balls. Like if teams are playing from the back or making those like trying to break past the how can I say that press. They are making long balls and but they are winning all those second balls in the process. They're really excellent ball players, but they are also really tall, physical players.
But so has Arsenal midfield
But the
and
technical, yeah, technically, the difference between Arsenal and City is that they have been doing it for years,
yeah,
and Arsenal just started doing it.
yeah, fair
That's
enough.
the difference actually. And also, like I said about the age profile, this Arsenal team can play 10 more years together, but City players are already in their peak. Like what I meant, like when I say the basic,
No, I
the
get
base
it.
of the Arsenal.
Like the Rodris, like De Bruyne
Yeah.
and Bernardo and stuff like that. Yeah, I get
uh,
it.
Arsenal players still have to, how can I say, achieve that level and then have to contain. Like in 2 years, they will be there. There are some players like Bukayo Saka. Basically, he whenever he's playing, he's like, okay, there is something going on.
Yeah.
But the most exciting is like Gabriel Martinelli. Oh my god, like low blocks, slow. How can I say? Uh, if defenders are pushing up or mid blocks, any blocks, no, nothing can stop him. Like it's like, and whenever he's playing, it's not like he has the that like a Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo levels dribbling skill. But the
Excuse
thing is
me,
that like going,
Cristiano Ronaldo level dribbling skill. What
yeah,
do you mean?
like, when Cristiano Ronaldo was younger, like in
But
Manchester
he
United.
didn't really much have that. Anyway, let's go.
No. I'm saying
I
like
think
he's
it's
not
I
even
think
that
Martinelli is better
that level
than at least Cristiano.
in dribbling.
Yeah,
No, not really, because Cristiano could have done it like in like really faster.
I've seen Martinelli taking three, four players same
Yeah, I
time.
know,
I've not seen
I
much
know,
of a young Cristiano doing that.
I know. But the thing is that Cristiano did actually.
Not many,
He stepped over.
not as that's a stable again. That's there's a
Yeah.
bit of difference between.
Thing is that like, yeah, the
Then we have
thing
to
is
talk
that like
about
that was,
Danielson, who's the best ever dribbler ever because he stepped over, right? So, but again,
no. The thing is that like Cristiano has this intelligence. Like he sort of like, how can I say,
he was quick.
move
He was very
away.
quick.
Yeah, he was quick, so that like nobody could have touched him. Like his positioning was like that good. Whenever he made those decisions, like he how can I say, he can actually smell the fear from the defender
Yeah,
and like go that way, like
yeah.
and
No,
avoid
I get
the
that.
other defender.
I get that. Yeah.
It's like only is this sort of instinct have like from killer striker, like
or
theory,
someone like right now
like
and
have
Vinny
those.
Jr. or someone like has that.
Vinny Junior is like have that actually. So I'm not saying like Martinelli won't be that level. He just started, but the thing is that like he just go at it, like again and again and
Yeah,
again, and
it's very
whenever like
relentless.
even yeah, and also like whenever he saw that like nobody's how can I say like backing up him, because like Bukayo Saka normally on the other side, and normally Gabriel Jesus or Trossard, they are dropping in the midfield. So uh, both of them are like at least like 2 3 defenders away normally. But normally in this sort of situation, like players like tend to how can I say go like move past 1 or 2 defenders, something like that, and then try to how can I say make a pass or try to score or something. But Martinelli doesn't do that. Actually, Martinelli just go at it, like just go at it again and again and again. And that actually creates sort of like a how can I say like a defenders are like thinking, okay, this guy won't stop. I have to make a tackle, and that's how like he. And whenever you're making tackle earlier, at least like 40 years, you are going to lose that game actually, because it's hard to actually make tackle when he's running. It's really hard, and he's like really fast also as well. So like for me, like it will be fun to see like in future years, like if he
Mhm.
continue to do that actually, because he's unbelievable, like literally unbelievable. Also, Martin Odegaard, probably his best season as a player. Actually, he did not have any chances in Real Madrid. Uh, to be fair, he could not actually get like he the timing was wrong, like completely wrong. But now he's like blooming. So there are certain parts like certain players like Saliba. Missing Saliba is a big loss. Arsenal wasn't actually same. It's not like they are missing a defender, but the physicality in the midfield, because normally what happens like Saliba pushed up and Gabriel actually how can I say make those cover up runs, and uh, they actually try to stop the threat before it's a threat or something like that.
But my question was like, you're saying that this Arsenal team will pick up again,
Yeah.
and obviously City is very smart with their
Mhm.
recruitment and finding the perfect kind of characters and players. So so again, it will be quite an interesting time for both Arsenal and Manchester City. Um, but do you think, can we talk about any other team that is?
Of course, Liverpool has a good run for like 9 games. They won last 9 games, and thing is that like I was well, I just wanted to actually like I wanted to make a video about like how he should inverted Trent Alexander-Arnold, and he did actually, and then since then actually
They're
they
doing
look a
very well.
little bit
Yeah,
different, very well actually. So they did started that actually before Arsenal game, since Arsenal game actually. Thing is that like with Klopp, sometimes he doesn't evolve. He
mm.
did not actually for like this is the difference between like a really good coach and the genius actually. Pep Guardiola invented a new position in the middle of the season. When his team, whether they win the Champions League or not, they like had a complete turn around the season. But
By solving
Klopp,
a problem,
yeah, by solving a problem, like a only problem, like the more
and
basic problem.
and solving
For
it in
Klopp,
in a way that nobody have seen it for 100 years.
no, yeah. For Klopp, he just how can I say doing what it's like. Some how can I say uh, any analyst who have seen like beginning of the season so far would have actually solved this problem like with this sort of like inverted fullbacks situations and stuff like that, and it was actually invented by Pep Guardiola. So I think it was, I think, sort of like in his pride or something. I don't know, for some reason, or he didn't wanted to do it for a while, but now he's doing it. So the teams looks good actually. So the thing is that like you have to evolve in a way that also like comes with experience, also like with willing to do, like with attitude. Like
Yeah.
Arteta did not have that actually. Still, it
Um,
will come like after losing battles like cup finals and stuff like that.
Fair enough. I think in a way, in a certain game, like he I shouldn't say about that to Klopp, but in certain way he's a little bit reactive rather than really taking it like whatever
That's what I'm saying. Like
the
Arsenal and
machinery, whatever.
Liverpool is,
Yeah,
yeah,
go.
yeah. Arsenal and Liverpool actually hugely dependent on emotions and stuff like that,
Mhm.
uh, which they shouldn't actually, because the quality of players they used to have, and they should actually have like killer mentalities. Like City winning it for like I don't know, like Pep Guardiola. If they win it today, it will be like 5 out of 7 season he won the
That's
Premier League.
that's a huge domination. That's a huge
That's
domination,
like, yeah, yeah.
and that
That's a,
like any kind of league you start, first year you have to be excused,
no,
and then
no,
literally he won 5 out of 6.
yeah, exactly.
That's like total domination.
Yeah, and some
And the
games,
season he lost, it was very close.
yeah, except like with the Liverpool season,
Yeah, yeah.
because they have injury problems. It was like, I don't know, some points gaps. But the thing is that like what I'm saying, the difference between that team and, I think it's on that Liverpool team. I think it's about mentality. Liverpool, yes, have like really good games when they are playing in Anfield, but you have to think about away games as well. You cannot go overpass uh, those sort of games. And I think like last season, whenever they're playing City, they did well actually in the cup games. Like they knocked out City in the Champions League. They knocked out City in FA Cup, or yeah, FA Cup. But the thing is that like um, they have to think about like other teams as well. Like whenever you are playing in Emirates, or whenever you're playing in Newcastle Stadium, those
And
stadiums are
Brighton.
like fortress. Yeah, Brighton's. So thing is that emotions sometimes like cannot actually get over.
Overly emotional is not good.
No, no,
Not on just
no.
football, but overall in life. You have to have
Yeah,
balance.
yeah, yeah. True.
And you have to be. I don't know. There was a little bit of that, and I felt Klopp was more of a nice manager. Like he's very loyal to his certain guys, right? So they're not
Yeah,
like kind of untouchables. You cannot touch them. Um, but
yeah.
that it shouldn't happen like that as big club
Mm.
as Liverpool.
Well, if you are, how can I say, coaching a team for a long time, that
That can happen.
sort of,
Yeah.
that can happen. Like normally it happens, but I don't think Pep Guardiola have does
No, he's
does
not
have
married.
that.
He's not married to anyone.
No, I think only with Messi, I guess. He said that in the Manchester City. How can I say? I think it was on in the first year. He was saying like no one is, how can I say, above anything except Messi in the Manchester City
Obvious.
dressing room.
No, that makes sense. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
who wouldn't like to be tied to Messi?
Mm.
But coming back to, I mean, we've talked about here, there, and a little bit of here, there. So we just want to wrap it up as soon as possible because we have a lot other things to talk as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But what's your kind of reaction over the Manchester United season has been?
It's sort of what hot and cold. They plan a billion euros in players last 10 years. So I think like they have better players in any sort of like rebuilding situations, you know. So that's why they won a trophy and that with a decent coach like Ten Hag. They're on probably if they win one and draw one game, they will have a Champions League spot, you know. And with that Carabao Cup trophy, they will have sort of like a belief that we
Something.
can win something. And
Yeah.
yeah, so that is needed actually. And normally, if you see in any like you talked about it, like in any Mourinho team, it starts with a cup winning,
Mhm.
and then it actually spreads with some other stuff because you need those sort of things in the beginning. Like Mikel Arteta did it, like they beat City
Yep.
and won
Yeah. To
FA Cup.
establish your
Yeah,
stamp,
yeah,
basically.
I am here.
Yeah.
So yeah, they sort of need that actually.
And a quick comment about Chelsea. I mean, they're right now. I think Mauricio
I
Pochettino.
really yeah, it would be fun for Pochettino, uh, but not in the beginning of the season. It will be tough actually. And Nagelsmann's agent, basically, what it is, he summed up Chelsea in three sentences. Actually, yeah, he was
Thankfully,
saying
it's
like something
not
like,
his ex-girlfriend.
yeah, I don't think he would have actually cared about some ex. Um, but what I'm saying, like. What's his name? I forgot his name actually. Nagelsmann was saying like Chelsea doesn't have any transfer policy. They spend too much and they don't actually
They
have
have
a
too many
consistency.
players.
Yeah, too many players also as well. Yeah, like they they can make like three teams
Yeah.
like with first team players. So like that's a lot. But Poch, how can I say? He can rebuild a team uh, like from the scrap. So
Yeah.
it's a good choice, like, I would say. But I hope that they would have actually relegated or something. We had a bet actually with champion Thursday.
Look at the.
I lost the bet actually. They would
Uh,
have relegated. I really
Come on,
hoped.
they've given you Jorginho. Come on.
Uh,
Um, but
no,
yeah,
we gave them actually better players
like
like
whom? Uh,
Cesc Fabregas, I guess. Like what's his name? Ashley Cole.
Come on.
Um,
Well, if any Chelsea fan are watching, thankfully, I mean, they will disagree. Um, but yeah, and potential Tottenham. What are we looking for Tottenham's kind of season so far? It's been really
well,
bizarre.
last not really like last two seasons. It like you can see that you can saw that coming like 3 4 seasons because they that Tottenham team that Pochettino built, it's basically an attacking team. They bought all those defending players, like defending coaches, but they did not give those coaches with firepowers because, like, if you can I say, also like with Hurricane situation, he wanted to go for a while. They are trying to like hang in there, stuff like that. Like they stopped him quite a few times. So it shouldn't be like that actually. That sort of like differs the mentality between a big team and a small team. Big club and a small club. Like you can go any if you want. We don't care. But the thing is that they also need to have a contingency plan. With Kane, it does not, and he's their captain. So if you have a problems like this with your captain, you cannot actually complete a rebuild because your captain is like he wanted to go in the first place. So that's the thing. That's the first thing. The second thing is that Mourinho put them in the cup final, but they sacked him before the final. This is like, and since then actually everything went downhill. They, I think they managed the Champions League position last season. Mm, eh, well, it is. It's not like they achieved that actually because Arsenal dropped that. So
Yep.
um, it's more like that, and also like some other teams were not performing at the time, so that actually helped them as well. But the thing is that like there is a difference between hanging there and total rebuild, and they have to start from the scrap again. So I don't know who will be their coach, but if they, I don't know if Conte is not going to be there, right?
No, no, no. But
So
speaking of a
oh, he
coach,
already said, yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. Speaking of a coach, I mean, look at Unai Emery and what he has done so far at Villa.
Of course, and he did not actually change that much actually because with Aston Villa they have like a brilliant midfield already. All they needed actually a really good coach, and yeah, he made most out of it. They have a World Cup winner actually, almost have two actually if you count what's his name,
Emi
the
Buendia.
Argentine midfielder, Buendia. Yes, he would have actually made it to the World Cup if Gerrard is not. You were arguing with that actually. Well, then McAllister wouldn't be there. So
No, I like Emi Buendia a lot. I'm a huge fan of
yeah,
him.
no.
Uh, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
He
but
was in the he was on the
with
reserve list.
Ramsey, him, and what's his name? The other guy, forgot his name. Ah, I forgot. Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, but yeah, but the thing is that like we discussed about like last season how Villarreal was playing against Bayern Munich with these triangles. Now it's more like last 2 months. If you see in any Aston Villa game, the triangles in the wing, like when they're building up from the back, there were like at least 6 players involved, and that triangle was there, and like they are exploiting like this overload in the wings sometimes. Sometimes they are creating sudden overload in the half spaces, especially. And if you are creating half spaces in the yeah sorry yeah overload in the half spaces, it actually confuses that defensive line because the defensive midfielders especially, they don't know where to go uh, because the players are moving, and if you're overloading that small space, they come together, and if you are a press resistant attacking midfielder, you can do the damages, and Ramsey is like really good in those sort of situations. So yeah, like they have a really good team. If I don't know if Emi Martinez will be there in the next season, but um, I don't think any other clubs is eyeing on other players so far. I think Coutinho is also leaving, so they can actually invest this money to another player. Um, so yeah, it will be a really good build up, actually,
Yeah,
really good.
apparently he wants Giovanni Lo
Also,
Celso.
also there are talks going on. I think it was I think Laporta. I don't know if you followed that news actually because Barcelona
It
director, one of
collapsed.
the directors, yeah, it collapsed actually, but he was going to Aston Villa. So like Villa is like looking for a really good director, um, in the top level director, and also like that guy, I forgot his name. He was interested in Aston Villa because of the money they have right
Mhm.
now, and they're going to be in the European spot. So like he can they can do creative stuff like what we have seen from Inter Milan or AC Milan or stuff like that.
Yeah. But yeah, don't want to dwell much on. I mean, obviously, you have to talk about Brighton,
Right, of
how
course.
well they've done. But then we're going everywhere, and I don't know what more to talk about the English Premier League at this point.
Not really. Brighton, we already have an admiration for this team, what they're doing so far. I'm not sure if they can make it to the European spot,
Spot.
but it depends. Also, Brentford is doing well. They had a good run for like 9 or 10 games
Except that
up until,
Tony
yeah,
Tony betting case. Yeah,
Tony. Yeah, he has been banned for 8 months.
yeah, that's a
Yeah,
severe
from all
punishment.
sort of football. Yeah, yeah, he could have actually. I don't know. Like this even these sort of things happens. Like normally, um, the team gets a little bit distracted actually,
Yeah, yeah.
and I don't think he has a, how can I say, England future, near future actually.
Yeah, that's a sad part because I like him
Yeah.
as a player. Um, yeah, don't have anything else to add on to the Premier League discussion. Do we want to move our discussion towards somewhere else, like any
Like
former
the
Diego,
close like La Liga.
any former Diego Maradona team?
Well, it looks like Diego Maradona's season so far.
Yeah, it is.
Uh, like 86 Argentina won the World Cup, and I think 86 87 Napoli won the Serie A. Also, I think that season or the season before, I don't know, Barcelona won the oh, not
I think
really.
I'm not sure if Barcelona won that, but he definitely played for Barcelona.
Yeah, but he doesn't have any sort of like that much attachment to Barcelona.
No, for sure. And for good reasons. Uh,
Yeah.
but do you want to talk in Italy or do you want to talk in Spain?
Uh let's start with Spain and then
Fair
Italy.
enough. So it's a huge title for Xavi and
Yeah.
Barcelona because everything was going south, and this something something they can clinch the title in between, which is a big win. How do you see Barcelona's season?
From a financial points of view, it's a huge leap actually. Uh, so Barcelona was about to sell their chairs, so it's like a bigger win than even a Champions League win in their history, actually,
Yeah, yeah, fair
in a
enough.
sense.
No,
Because at the, every time Barcelona was dominating, they have some sort of like a stable board normally. Uh, Not like, I'm not saying, because Barcelona always have a chaos history
hmm
with
hmm
boards and stuff like that.
hmm
So
hmm
it was all there. But what I'm saying, like whenever they were winning the Champions League, they have a sort of like a stable board, stable monies, and all other situations are going there. Well, like, and so like I'm not disrespecting those sort of like a dream team or other dream team or any other teams, but from their histories, I think this is the best cup they ever won. I guess
Yeah,
in a way.
it means a lot. I mean, that's the supporters for the team and to everyone. As we just talked about, certain coach and certain team needs a
Yeah,
title to put a stamp on, and start
yeah,
believing, okay, we can do it. And I think that's because Barcelona have won too many during Leo Messi there, like too many of La Ligas. They probably stopped appreciating about La Ligas. Now they haven't won it for like what 3 4 years, and then all of a sudden it became so valuable.
also the playing techniques is a lot difference in the final stage of the season. I
Yeah.
think the team is shaping up a little bit. Also, I think the injury. in a way helped a little bit, but not in the big games like
Not
against
in the bigger European games. No, it didn't help.
yeah, not yeah. Also, even in the
La Liga, some of
El
the games.
Clasico last,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, like they won 3 out of 5 El Clasicos this season, so it's a good result against like the eternal rivals. So they will take it. So it's a good thing. Second thing is that like players like Pedri or Gavi or other players like Balde especially. I think he should be their player of the season in a way.
Discovery of the season. I would really give it to
Yeah, young
um
player of the season or
yeah,
something like that.
for sure. He's one of the revolution.
Yeah,
Um, but
because they were looking everywhere for fullbacks, and now they have like with Jules Kunde is like a surprising player for me. Um, I don't know. Like he played in center back position, but he's doing well as well, like in the wing back or full back position, and
but then
sometimes like Araujo.
he doesn't
Alright,
want to play in win back. That's what he publicly said in the interview, right?
okay,
So that's a
yeah,
bit of clash. I mean, you have to manage them.
he
Uh,
has he has 6 assists from that position. Also, his line breaking passes are way better than any other players on the from the back actually in the team.
yeah, true. Uh,
So Xavi doesn't have any other choices actually in a way.
well, he has to.
Um,
Yeah, it's better than 39 or 40 years Alves, and who's in jail right now, so he's not even available.
he started a league there actually amongst prisoner, and he's actually accepting like prisoners' families actually bringing jerseys like Barcelona jerseys, old Barcelona jerseys, and he's signing them, and they are
Well,
giving him
at
free
least.
stuffs. So he's going to be a mafia there probably.
But yeah, jokes aside, I mean, um, yeah, I don't think they're well, unless you count Sergio Roberto as one of the like eternal makeshift right back. There's none.
Yeah. Oh,
There's
well,
none.
yeah,
They've tried
and
with
that's why they I think
what's the guy name? He came from Betis.
Hector Bellerin.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Yeah, it was a horrible, horrible result. So yeah, that's the thing actually. Sometimes I think it feels like Xavi was living in the past in a way, but he has to make those hard decisions. Actually, trying to figure it out. So like he's sort of like a kid in the candy shop. He has to try
Yep,
everything
try
and
things.
try to
Yeah,
find his yeah. So
and also
if they have money, then it wouldn't be a problem. So like they have to be accurate, and with all those defenders they have this
now they
season,
have Inigo
actually, yeah,
Martinez. That's what reportedly saying. Inigo has
yeah,
been
I
signed.
saw that actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, it would be a good signing actually.
and with Christiansen played fairly well on the center back,
Yeah,
been very solid. You have Ronaldo Araujo. To me, is one of the best player in the La Liga, if not the
yeah,
best. And his leadership. I mean, the last game against Espanyol, everyone was coming in. He was the last guy going out. It reminded me of Carlos Puel. Um,
yeah.
but yeah,
Uh,
that guy is something. Ronaldo Araujo.
and he's also like I think relatively young, like 21, 22. I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah, he's already a
this sort
leader.
of age.
Already
So
a leader.
yeah, he's already a leader. So
Uh,
yeah, you need someone from the back actually.
oh,
Uh,
yeah, for sure. And
and Barcelona did not have that actually.
well, Barcelona lost a leader in the middle of the park. I mean, Sergio Busquets. Let's talk about
Oh yeah,
Sergio Busquets. It's last season. He's not going to play for Barcelona. I mean,
is it the best defensive midfielder ever? Like people were saying, like actually.
I never think he was actually a defensive midfielder to start with.
thing is
Like
that like
think
since
about
he
think
did,
about defensive midfielders. One of the best defensive midfielders of that era, Yaya Toure and
yeah,
Javier Mascherano, both had to play in different position for Sergio Busquets. So yeah, that really explains everything.
thing is that like he pulls the string like so well from the behind. It's like unearthly, like, and it's like it's not like, how can I say, some blistered passes from the midfield or something like that, like what Xavi used to do, or not like a dribbling skill. But nobody actually, even with his old ages, like nobody could have actually taken balls from him, and that sort of thing is like
And finding the
he's not like a
small
game
gaps and yeah,
destroyer. Yeah, he's not like a game destroyer like Casemiro or any other players on that age. He's not like a, how can I say, box eight, but in a way he's sort of like a 10,
deep line.
like
Yeah,
playing, yeah, 10 playing in the five position,
yeah, for sure. He he,
number
he
six
he
position.
did. Uh, did. And when he was young, I mean, he always knew what their kind of special position is with the right back, with the left back, with the because the right back and left back in Barcelona used to make that three in the middle, while you have this two extension of Xavi and Iniesta. So there was a system, and they knew each other without even seeing. Just turning and putting a ball was enough. But then obviously the game has been different. The team has been different, and yeah. But
Yeah,
just to speak of
he survived. Somehow.
Sergio Busquets missed probably 10 to, sorry, not 10,
No,
4,
16 games
16
actually in
games
15. Yeah, in
in his
15 years.
entire 50. That just speaks volumes about the guy.
Yeah,
He's tall, but he's very tiny, like very skinny. Not really physical. Uh, just used his intellect and what a ball player he was. But yeah, every that's the last Pep Guardiola's team player on that Barcelona team,
yeah,
unless you still kind of count Sergio Roberto. But that's the end of that team.
yeah, yeah. That 2011 winning team.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah. So they've lost Sergio Busquets, but you have Frankie De Jong, you have the Pedris, the
I
Gavi.
think Kimmich want to move into Barcelona because all the situations going
What's
on in
hap-
Barcelona, Bayern Munich,
What's happening in Bayern Munich?
and
We'll talk about Bayern Munich. I love to
yeah,
talk
we'll
about
go
the
there.
chaos, but coming to Barcelona, I mean, obviously Robert Lewandowski started this trend. Were you pleased with his overall season?
I think he has some muscle issue actually. I think in the middle of the season actually that actually hampered a lot Barcelona. But they actually need a really good backup for him because
Like
he's not going to
Aubameyang?
be younger. Similar to that profile actually, but or even if better if it's like a 20 years old or something like that who's up and coming.
Like clone of Julian
Uh,
Alvarez?
yeah, probably. That would be best actually. That's uh, that would be the best case.
Well,
Like,
City has given them
uh,
Ferran Torres and then have purchased Alvarez in way cheaper price.
they
How
should
about
have
that
gone for
guy? How about
Alvarez
that
last
guy,
season
Eric
actually.
Garcia? Um,
City played chicken for so many clubs, like with Sterling and Chelsea.
yeah, um, but yeah, on more serious note, I mean, Ferran Torres. You don't think he's the right backup?
No, he can play in the wings, but not in the middle.
It's not the guy.
Because of inconsistency. inconsistency. Like he sometimes got like too emotional. Like whenever he's playing well, he also whenever he's not playing well as well. So you need a calm guy. But for
Uh,
first season, Robert Lewandowski, I think when Barcelona was winning like 1-0, he was the one most likely scoring under those sort of games. I think they won like 11 or 12 games with 1-0, 1-0.
okay. The next question would be: Would you prefer Rafinha or Fit Dembele? No, that's a if question. Fit Dembele.
Funny thing is that Rafinha, I think, is the most made the most assist this season for Barcelona. The thing with Rafinha is not like physical or anything. It's all about mental problems. Sometimes, like we discussed about it whenever he was playing with Brazil in the World Cup. Whenever he was playing before that, actually, he just lost his form just before the World Cup, and then he came back after, like, luckily for Barcelona, because after Dembele injured, they needed someone like to step over, and he did. Thing with Rafinha is that like he always go in like a certain ways, like which is predictable, like way predictable, and also like he sometimes make like a, how can I say, uh, short short without a second touch, and that actually, or also like a cross without a second touch. So that actually causes Barcelona a lot, because normally those sort of things went out and the goalkeeper has to restart the game. So that actually is change the, you have to change the shape, they have to regain the ball again and then go for the attack. That's so like that's like a at least 1 minute there, and you are playing a 90-minute game. So you have to be clever about like refueling, or what we are saying, like, how can I say, recharging your attack. So this sort of decision makings actually comes like in times. So with Dembele, you don't have to do that, but with Dembele, there is another problem with like sometimes Dembele is also so out of the game. He's not even like, I don't
You,
know.
you you kind of
He's
think,
just
if
walking around and
yeah,
running around, but he's not
exactly.
even in the game.
He's physically there, mentally somewhere else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he probably cooks at his place, so like he probably thinking about, did I left the stove open or this sort of things. Actually,
Well, get a good cook, so you don't have to worry about that. But I thought he was married.
I don't know. I don't know about his any sort of personal.
No, I think he was
Maybe.
married, and then it changed his routine, especially with the PlayStation and stuff like that. Um,
Oh, oh.
but then again, I don't know what's happening with the Dembele. It's a very kind of like with
It's a
so
age-old mystery, actually.
yeah, he's someone very weird. I think in a funny way.
It's
Uh,
like asking a question like why there is something in the universe then nothing.
yeah,
You don't answer that question.
yeah, exactly. Uh, but there's a looming question of who they need to, because still Gavi is not registered
They
as
are
a.
going for Lionel Messi.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we'll come to that point, but Gavi is not yet registered to the
Um,
first team.
yeah, yeah, that's the issue actually. Like, uh, I don't know, like with Javier Tebas, it's like, I don't know. Barcelona asked them, they have a plan. They submitted it, and yesterday La Liga said that plan is viable, but Barcelona wants paperwork, like a
Yeah,
written,
confirmation
and they
because
want
last time.
a confirmation. Yeah, so like they want to get that, and then they want to send it to Lionel Messi.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's another issue. Like with so many things going on, like with if Busquets leaves, then there is a huge salary. How can I say? They can afford another player, like a first team player with this salary. I think there is another player left last season. Oh yeah, Gerard Piqué left in the middle of the season. So that actually cleared some salary bills. And also like they La Liga, what La Liga said that like they if um, they have 650 million in their debt, and they are generating 450, something like that, and so like they have 200 millions euros gap. And if they made it, or if they, what they said basically, like if they sell a player for like 100 million, they can only use like 40 million in player, how can I say, player bills and wages, and also like transfer fees and everything. So that's the basic. So I don't know like what is like in details about those plan, like viability of the plan, or exactly what exactly in the plan. But La Liga seems to be
Fairly
impressed.
reluctant.
Yeah, and so if they have a paperwork done next like Monday, so they can actually start negotiating with players like
Okay, let's come
um,
come to here. Leo Messi. I mean, if there's no Messi, say for example, who else could have Barcelona gone for?
actually Barcelona really need a backup defensive midfielder. I think so far there is a offer from Newcastle for Rafinha. It's about like 80 million. So they're going to sell so many players, and they wanted to sell actually. I don't know who will buy. Frankesi is still an interesting prospect for some clubs. They want to get rid of him. I think there is another player I forgot. One of Eric Garcia Ferreras got to be gone. So there are some monies from there as well. So they really need a, how can I say, defensive midfielder, and suddenly Joshua Kimmich is interested, or his agent is interested, or I don't know, like if it's or if it's a negotiation technique or something like that. But I don't think he'll extend his contract with Bayern Munich, because I think ends in 2026 or 25. I don't know. So he wants to leave before. So there are some complication there. Um, they have a really good negotiation with I guess Fiorentina about Amrabat. Amrabat is playing Fiorentina, right? So yeah, that deal was broken, I guess, like in the final stage, because personally, Amrabat really wanted to play for a big club in Champions League, especially playing for Barca is one of his dream or something like that. But um, thing is that like it was broken for the president of Fiorentina. They didn't to wanted him to leave in the middle of the season, and there are some other issues I forgot actually. So he's on the list. Who else? I guess there's another Real Sociedad or Real Betis player. I forgot his name. Um, but so like there are three candidates, and Xavi so far said like yesterday, our like main plan to get a defensive midfielder because Busquets is leaving. So this is their first priority. I think Messi is like they are going for Messi so far, as it seems, but it's not like their first priority. They are trying to figure it out. And if Kimmich, like since like they were so focused on Amrabat, like because they knew that like they are going for it, but with Kimmich is a good option. His press resistance. He can play in the right back position as well. He can change position and control the game from behind it. He has this sort of mentality. So, and also like his passing range is quite impressive.
Yeah, that's is
He
one
can
one of the
switch the
ready-made
games.
players. Ready-made player for
Yeah.
Barcelona.
So yeah, exactly. And so like with Amrabat, he played well in the World Cup, but we have seen players playing well in the World Cup and not playing in the club level is a different thing. Like Barcelona, they want to be in the position they at the end of the season. they will be in the Champions League semi-final and in the playing like competing for La Liga. They want to be in this sort of situation, and if you want to be in the Champions League semi-final, you need a really good player right now. So that's why they are considering Kimmich option a little bit.
Almost reminds me of someone called Leandro Paredes, who's probably available almost for free. PSG doesn't want him. Juventus doesn't want him, almost.
Mm. There are so many players are actually free. I think
Yeah,
is uh, also
Gundogan is a good choice.
Gundogan is also like a ready-made player. Yeah. Uh, I have no disrespect to Gavi. He's a really good presser, like winning balls in the final third is like really important. But um, he does not have this stability yet. He will be there, one of the like best defenders in best midfielders in like 2, 3, 4 years. But if they want to really wanted to like make an how can I say statement in the Champions League, then they should go for one of those players like Paredes. They have Paredes. I think with temper issue um, that actually sometimes causes, and they are going to play against Real Madrid. Who knows what happens?
Yeah.
That's this sort of games, and also like against although Simeone is leaving, they have to play against Atletico Madrid. With Simeone, it's always like the dark arts behind the game. Um, so
Yeah, they could have gone for
uh,
even DePaul, isn't it? He's not really getting much.
I don't think Deepol is a good option for some reason because Deepol sometimes lose control of the ball, so they need a control
Well,
midfielder. Like they couldn't afford
well,
those sort of things.
if you have Messi coming in, say for example, you need DePaul.
Yeah, true. But thing is that like they really need like at least two new midfielders,
Hmm.
like who can compete for first team position. Um, and there are two exiting already, like Francasi and Busquets is going. So, they, yeah, and they only have like 3 midfielders, I guess. Like, who else is playing for Barcelona? I forgot. Like this La Liga, I saw a big list of
Well,
players
there's
because Aubameyang,
Sergio Roberto. Let's put him.
Roberto is there. Yeah.
And then there is obviously Pedri, Gavi, and Frankie De Jong. Um, Cassie was playing in a bit of rotation. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Then they really need at least 3 players, like two who can play compete for the first team and another one who can actually also Wolves can sign Ansu Fati on loan because Barcelona is also as well concerned like if he plays more he will get more experience and stuff like that. So and Ansu Fati's dad is not impressed, like Xavi is not giving enough chances or stuff like that. And for Barcelona's points of view, he's recovering, and if he plays enough games next season, then he will develop a lot. So, and there are Wolves connection between like there are so many players and agents. So,
That's agents. Yeah,
uh,
basically.
yeah,
Isn't it George
yeah,
Mendes?
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
His agent is Jordan Mendes.
So makes sense. Or even some other teams like AC Milan or something like that. That happened with the test. Um, but yeah, I mean, so many intriguing. But Barcelona at this point is not really ready to compete for Europe. I think they can do well
Mm.
domestically.
No, they don't have any actually bench. I have just seen that bench actually. Yeah, they don't have actually really good bench. They have like 7, 8 really good players, which is I think enough to like make some sort of consistency. But to play in the top level, especially like
In Europe.
Champions League
Yep.
quarterfinal and semi-finals you have to win those away games or make some sort of statement on the away fields or draw. Sometimes some fields like you cannot win, so they really need this sort of things, like
Or
really good, at least like five players more.
for sure. And also I have a little.
Also,
Go
also Barcelona actually went out of the tournaments, like how can I say, like not Super Cup, other Copa del Rey and Europeans, like Champions League or Europa League. They, yeah, that bench depth is not enough. And whenever Pedri is playing, Barcelona seems like in more in control. Actually, like Tifo IRL actually have a good video about it, like JJ Bulls. Just see,
Yeah.
maybe. But the thing is that like they really, whenever they exited those tournament, there were like how can I say, injury problems in the
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
some of the defenders
Like
are
some
not
of
actually
the
playing. So
Eric Garcia was only identifiable
yeah,
defender against Inter Milan and stuff like that, and you know
yeah,
Lautaro scored against him. Um, Again, I'm not making an excuse, but in key games they had some really great absentees on the back line.
yeah,
Pico
yeah,
was playing on one of the games against Inter,
yeah,
if you remember.
yeah.
Don't worry, and
The
somebody
first
scored.
one, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's good for them. They're making just getting rid of some of the old guards that's there, and that they're just kind of rebuilding. Um,
Yeah,
but it
if they buy like two fullbacks or something like that, like especially in the right side, or one at least, like
I think
then
they were
Kunde,
very
Araujo,
interested about
Christensen,
Foyt. Um, I think they were really
one
interested.
point.
Yeah, very interested about Foyt, but I don't know how
But
far
White
that
is
has
not
gone.
like that fast actually. Also, like
I think it's one of the more prolific right backs in La Liga. I
yeah,
might be
but
wrong.
he's not fast actually, because if I don't know, like if you see, if you have seen that actually, like whenever cup tournaments happens, like one goals can make a huge difference. And that run against like Eric Garcia, Lautaro Martinez made a statement actually. Basically, Eric Garcia was like he couldn't do anything in that game. So I don't know, like you need a really good player, like a really fast defender. Like center backs is not like a, how can I say, you cannot buy anyone. you know, if you want to win a tournament, you need your center backs.
No, but I think Barcelona is more interested about Foyt as a right back because he's done fairly well in Villarreal. Uh, and
He's a cheaper option actually.
yeah, it's very cheap. That's the other reason that they're very interested.
Yeah.
And he's good on ball, has composition as well. So
Well, uh, as it seems like Xavi is not like he looks a little bit more flexible in the second part of the season.
he
That's
did.
why they did well. It's sort of like combination between Moreno and some, sometimes with like Conte, you know, this sort of situation. Um, so
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
like
fair enough. I mean,
if you want to
I've
win a cup matches, actually, like you have to be flexible. Like Carlo Ancelotti, he basically changed like nothing from what happened, but they won the Champions League last year. So
I somehow think Carlo Carlo has some black magic or something. I don't know. Um,
well, he did actually have. He basically gave us Christmas tree, and Christmas tree is a pagan symbol, so he can have actually. I don't know, he might have as well.
yeah. But yeah, coming back to, I mean, I don't want to speak more about Barcelona much, but it seems like
No.
they're interested in Messi. They're interested in some other players, but it would be still not that Barcelona that we're hoping for. But what about
Yeah.
Real? They have some transition to do as well, and their season has
As it
been
seems, so actually, it's over basically.
yeah.
Um, Well, it's coming, right? You can see that coming for a while,
Hmm. Hmm.
and they have to do it. Yeah. I think they should actually get rid of some middle guys. Like they are renewing contract with Asensio, who is almost 30.
Hmm.
Dani Seba is almost like 28 or something, 27, 28 or something. And they did not seem to be a starter if Chouameni or Kamavinga around. They really need, oh yeah, Ancelotti has actually falling out with some players. With Mendy. Mendy is going out. Um, I think technically, Kamavinga actually should have be a really good. Uh, I don't know, like with Chouameni, I don't see him. Like he's still, I think, in the World Cup. He died there, probably. He hasn't been any good since then. So that actually was a problem. Valverde is there, but I think lately, especially against Manchester City, I think Ancelotti made a wrong choice, like playing with Rodrigo, because if they played with an extra midfielder, they would have actually had more goals. And City looked actually shaky in Bernabeu than in Etihad, so they could have actually done more damages. And
But
like
then again,
Karim Benzema was coming in.
with Rodrigo, they've scored four past Barcelona, right? So that's probably what made him
Yeah, but it's not Barcelona.
fair enough. I mean, again, but if you get some
And
kind of success,
Barcelona is nowhere near as good as City.
but somehow if you get success, well, I understand, but you beat your eternal rival at the Camp Nou, and then also um, the success of certain setup makes you think, okay, why change? Because that's how I'm getting results.
Yeah, but the thing is that you have to also consider some opposition, how they can make damages, because you want to nullify those sort of things.
Yeah,
And Ancelotti, as it seemed actually so far, up until that game, he was doing well. Also, like there was a small sort of rebuilding going on. They needed an extra defensive mid, like sorry, center back, and Rudiger seems doing well. Um, but they really needed left back. Actually, they really needed right back as well, like a fast team right back. Carvajal is good, but he's not that level anymore. Uh, Also, Vinny Junior has up and down this season, because last up and like except for that City games, he has like a 10 game streaks with goals and assists. So, but around the World Cup, he was not actually good as good. So they are actually thinking about some strikers, I guess. And what I think that, like, if they get like wants to get rid of Benzema, best option right now available is like Victor Osimhen. Quite a similar players to Benzema, faster, also like a really good aerial threat, um, and they really need a left-footed right winger. But they cannot do it all those things in a
at
season.
once. Yeah.
So, at once. So also like they are, I think, rebuilding Barnabu or something like that. So there are some money problems there as well. Oh, they are getting Jude Bellingham.
Yeah, that would help to a certain
Yeah,
extent.
that actually like set up their midfield for like next 10 years at least, more or less.
Probably not.
Because because Kamavinga, I don't know how
I
old he is.
Yeah, they're young, but I'm not sure that they're going to run in
No,
Real Madrid.
Kamavinga will be there, I guess.
I
Not
I
Chouameni. I
I
don't think
I
Chouameni
I,
will
I have my doubts
be there.
about one of them at least. Um,
No, Kamavinga looks well. At least like he has like blistering pace. Chouameni has that, but Kamavinga has more control. I think he sees the pitches. Like he made that run against City. just before Vinny Junior's goal. And I don't think bringing Mbappe will be a good option in the team because I think Vinny Junior is like, how can I say, is enough to
I
lead
th-
Real Madrid.
I think that would be fun. Bring it in. I mean, I want to see that fun because I wanted to see that clash of egos. Definitely, I love Mbappe in Real Madrid.
Well, that would be it.
That would be
That
fun
would
in
be
a different reason.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But again, with Vinny
but
Junior, can
we
you
won't see.
really like what Mbappe brings you is in elite games he shows up. Vinny, not always.
That's the thing. He did not last season, but this season he is more consistent, and he's only like 22, 23. I don't know. So he will be developed. Like
And
his
also
best year
they
is
have a
ahead.
very
Yeah.
good up and coming midfielder as Nico Paz.
Also, like he already won like 2, 3 Champions League. That it really helps because um, like he knows how to go around, and especially after playing last season, like he made those important goals um, along with Benzema, Rodrigo, those runs especially when to run. He still have it actually, but what Real is like really looking for, I think, and they're focusing on, I think, in the midfield, and Bellingham is perfect. He's not like a ball playing players like Cruz Modric, but
I,
he is a
I,
ball carrier.
yeah,
And
exactly.
if he plays on the left and Valverde on the right, then they already have a five men front three. When actually, except for Benzema, all of them are faster, so they can actually go to from defense to attack really quick. Kamavinga can actually pull those strings. Like his passing range is like quite fairly well than Chouameni. Um, So what they need right now, what they are doing so far, they are extending contract with Modric and Cruz, so that I don't think they will be a first team starter next season,
No, I think
but
I
they will
think
be sort of like a
they'll be here and there a bit of that. But again,
yeah. But
I don't know why they would keep like Modric and Cruz at this age. Um,
no, they don't have any choice actually. They cannot spend more than that actually.
well, they have
There
Nico
are
Paz on the
regulations.
bench. Better give him a little bit more game time, and that guy will develop. Um,
Real is not good. Like when I say not known for giving opportunities to their
yeah,
academy players.
fair
So
enough. Unless you're Asensio.
Asensio is not their
Not
academy
there,
player.
yeah, probably Mallorca or something, but yeah, probably Carvajal is. Um, or what's the other guy? Vasquez.
Vasquez probably is.
Yeah. But anyways, but it seems like Ancelotti will stay. Because in Real Madrid, if you don't win Champions League, you normally get sacked. But it seems like
Actually, actually, he should have actually stay at least for like 2026 because natural successor of him is Lionel Scaloni. Like how the Real is playing, how their game management is, and how they are more focused on cup games like Champions League. And Lionel Scaloni, if Argentina fail to win the next World Cup, I don't, I'm not sure if he's staying or something.
but
But
I don't see that happening anyway. I guess they have an inclination to Raul. They have an inclination
no,
to
so
um,
they have actually like really good
Javi
like
Alonso.
ex players. Yeah, ex players who is like doing well so far. Um, Xabi Alonso just lost like last night against Jose Mourinho's team Roma.
Mhm.
But Leverkusen is really good. They took like 22 shots, but it's a Mourinho team, so
Yeah,
it's hard to score already.
yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I don't want to spend much time on Real Madrid anyway. So in La Liga, yeah, again, there's been a splendid run from Atletico. I think after the
Mm,
after
yeah.
World Cup, there's been a very good run for them.
Also, Real was focusing more on the league. Actually,
Yeah,
they were sort of like a realistic.
I guess that's one of the reasons, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, nothing to take away from Atletico, and also a fantastic run from Mendilibar as coach of Sevilla, almost relegated, bring them back in number 10 position, and now they're on the Europa League
Europa League again.
final as well. Yeah, so
Okay.
so it's
Okay, here's the
it's
thing.
it's
Actually,
not
fun fact.
not always the best tactical coach brings a
Yeah.
result. It's sometimes the very simplified sort of, and whoever makes a group united uh, gets the result.
They still needs to fill up like some positions. Like we talked about it before. Like in the beginning of the season, I was like really worried about Sevilla because they lost their best two center backs. They could not replace them, and there were other problems like with financial problems actually mainly. Actually, so many clubs are having these problems in
But
Spanish league actually.
going at least in the Europa League final at least solves a
Yeah.
bit, um, because
It's not at least actually it will be a bigger like if they win they have to actually win in so many like things because like if they fail to win they could not probably make it to the any sort of European football and that's a lot of money actually. Yeah, like yeah, and the clubs who are like solely dependent on those sort of money, like especially like Athletic or who is Villarreal or something like that.
mhm,
Betis, they actually brings new players from those money actually.
yeah, fair
So
enough. Um, yeah, I don't have much to add on the Spain.
there are interesting games actually, but the thing is that like if we have to go game by game, it will be
Yeah,
a while.
it'll be a while.
Yeah. Also, another thing is that like refereeing quality is getting worse in La Liga actually.
Well,
This season, especially like last season was like a little bit decent, but this season is going down. Uh, I think it's in the middle of the game. I guess like I think it is Betis associated game. Like they scored and referee blew the whistle in the middle of the shot or something like that.
um, yeah, it's been bizarre all over, almost all games. It's been it's been really
Yeah,
bad.
there were few
So
like
I think Tebas should focus
start
on some,
throwing. Yeah,
yeah, focus on more on some of the,
no people like used to watch La Liga because of those like rivalry like between Barcelona, Real Madrid, and there were other clubs like Villarreal. If
well,
Barcelona are
Atletico
playing
may makes
Villarreal,
it competitive.
Atletico,
Sevilla,
yeah, of course. Thing is that like they don't have those like star players anymore, but still without those players like La Liga is still La Liga, you know. But the thing is that like people stopped watching certain league because like because of refereeing, uh, also like timing, I guess. Like it's middle of the night, and if you want to watch a game after work, if and you are living in Asia, how can you do that? Actually, it's not possible.
if you don't have Messi in the
Um,
league or Ronaldo, you're not going to watch it. Simple.
no, yeah, that's it. And the thing is that like um, Premier League, their timing is like in the middle
More
of the day,
favorable.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, like middle of the afternoon, like after work, you can watch a really good game and fall asleep after that. It's a good timing actually. But for La Liga, you have to at least stay up at 11 p.m.,
Well, two
which is
thirty.
like yeah, which is like I don't know, like later at the end of the night in Asia, probably some countries. So, and English clubs actually have a really like really good, especially like with Leicester winning that league that time. Um, and also like Manchester United, basically run by Asian mobs. Like
Yeah.
clubs fans are basically from Asia. So thing is that like you have to if you want to attack those sort of markets, you have to think about those sort of stuff. let alone like only from monies, like taking monies from your own clubs and making them, I don't know, to pay for some stupid rules or stuff like that.
Yeah. Um. All correct actually. But again, you have to have those star powers to attract because think about the
No, actually, uh,
TV revenues and stuff like that. I mean, who can keep those people, general people, attracted to the game? I mean, is I don't think as good as player Vinicius Junior is. He's not gonna pull many crowd yet.
no, not at all. Like compared to that, actually, like the selling market. The thing about like Real has some unique. How can I say creativity? Creatively, their players are more flexible, uh, to earn more money in Real Madrid than Barcelona. But with Spain, like playing in Spain is like horrible in some, or working in Spain especially for taxes, it's like a nightmare. So that sort of things, and also like image right, especially like if Mbappe is playing for Real Madrid or Haaland is playing for I don't know, uh, Barcelona, then there will be some sort of like, I don't know, uh, because they are up and coming and stuff like that. There will be some sort of illusion that well, I have to watch La Liga, wake up in the middle of the night and wait, sort of thing. Otherwise, nobody will care.
Yeah, and think about Messi versus Ronaldo. It's not always Real versus Barcelona or whoever they're playing. If Messi scored two, Ronaldo scored against, say, for example, Celta two, something like
Mm.
that. That was each game. There was like there's a bit of competition going on, right? So that kind of rivalry
Yeah.
is not there anymore.
No, no, it's not possible actually, because as good as them actually playing, and also like also certain things you have to go like in certain ways, like Pep Guardiola shouldn't be a coach because he was only coaching the B team.
Yeah.
He came up. So like stars have to be aligned or something like will never see
Yeah,
seen
someone's.
have seen or will see these sort of things ever before or
These are not
will
planned.
before.
These are not planned. This just
No,
happened.
no, no. So like it put it to a certain level, and then you know, and there are expectations with certain players that it's not there. So it's all those things are, but still marketing things you have to be a little bit, like early in the day or something like that.
Yeah, fair enough. Shall we move to Italy to talk a little bit about
Yeah, of course, must we
Serie
must.
A?
I was waiting for. I thought like it will be for La Liga. It will be a short
Yeah, for
segment.
sure.
That's why.
Let's talk about Scudetto win of Napoli for after 89-90 season. Uh, what a big win for
Yeah,
Southern Italy and especially for Naples. Um,
I missed the party.
yeah,
I missed the party. I was supposed to go there actually. Like I thought it would be like around like at the end of May or something like that. So I was thinking about going there again. Um, yeah, like Italians partied really good.
yeah.
So
The
yeah, I
people
missed
are
the party.
crazy of Naples and especially they're really passionate about. Um, the first thing they've done is gone and started candlelight or something in the shrine of Maradona.
Yeah.
So yeah, very devoted kind of supporters. But in a season that nobody
It's
really
also like
expected them to win.
no, not in the beginning of the season. I think the belief came, I guess, after that Liverpool game, how they beat Liverpool. Although, like this Liverpool is not at that level, but the thing
But
is that
still,
like beating Liverpool, yeah, Liverpool in
not just beating
uh,
them. I mean, they were really lucky to just lost by like what 4-0 or something. Could have been 8-0
4 or 5,
easily.
yeah, it could have been 8-0 in the first half as well later on.
Exactly.
It was that good actually. But yeah, what a signing. Those signings actually, like Kim for what's his name, Koulibaly. They get rid of. We talked about that actually, like Insigne, and what's his name? I forgot.
Martins.
Martins. Yeah. So like yeah, the what an improve and in
And
how
who
can I
knew
say,
this
in every way actually.
Georgian Varadona, right? Nobody knew him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And he did so like scoring 10 plus goal in and assist 10 plus
yeah,
goals
that's a lot.
in Italian league. It's a huge thing actually. It's a well, not. I don't think any players have ever did that. I think Del Piero did it actually, yeah, last time, or Totti.
Yeah, Totti. Totti probably was the last man.
Totti probably, yeah, probably, yeah. Or I think Napoli's, who plays exactly? El Shaarawy.
No,
Someone else did it actually in the in between. But yeah, it's a big achievement actually, yeah, especially from Italy. But they did it in style. That's the thing.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've beaten almost anyone and everyone. Especially, I mean, at the last part, they probably lost a bit of steam, but you can
Yeah.
excuse them. I mean, they've been so
No,
good.
actually, thing is that like also tactics was not actually good. It was static actually. When they were playing against Milan in the league games, they were fairly static. Also, Oshiman was injured. Nobody steps over. I guess there were other injury issue, and I think they lost. Yeah, I think no. They didn't lose anyone. But the thing is that like this 4-2-3-1 was so static. They
Mhm.
shouldn't actually play on that formation
And
on that
also,
day.
Ndombele is not a great replacement for
No,
what is his name?
Anguissa.
Anguissa is a different player, very
Yeah,
different player.
yeah. Anguissa is like when Anguissa Lobotka when they're playing, it's like they knew each other for I don't know for
Ages.
so long.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like also Anguissa sometimes makes those sort of runs. Like it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Like he was playing in Fulham last year.
absolutely, absolutely. Now, I don't know if if players like definitely Vicha, Kvaratskhelia, and then Osimhen definitely will be eyed by bigger teams. But um, I still think that someone can have Anguissa as their fire part of their midfield. I mean, he's great. Uh, whatever I've seen from him.
Yeah, I think Manchester United is they want to sign Kim. So
So they don't want to have Harry Maguire. What are you saying? No, that
yeah, no,
cannot happen.
United needs a center back actually, backup center back because whenever uh, what's his name? I forgot.
Varane and
Martinez,
Martinez. Yeah, Lisandro Martinez.
Lisandro Martinez. Martinez is out of the season.
Yeah,
So yeah, whenever
that
he's not
changed that
playing,
that changed their entire season.
yeah, yeah. Also, Martinez can play as a defensive midfield role, you know, so they can use him in so many ways. Also, left back. So, yeah. Um, what I'm trying to say actually, uh, I don't, I don't see. Well, it's hard to bargain with Napoli president
Yeah,
in so many ways.
yeah,
He did not actually let some players go um, last few years, and finally build a team around some players, some old players, and now it's like running. well running machine actually.
Yeah,
But let's see how it goes. But if Victor Osimhen leaves, I don't see he's leaving anywhere uh, less than 120 euro, 120 million euro.
fair enough. I mean, that's a lot of money.
Yeah,
Um, but again, they have to find someone.
yeah. But yeah, also like I don't know, like last part of the game, last part of the season, the Simeone and also like what's his name?
Respiratory?
Yeah, Raspadori. They were not actually that well. So I don't think they will be natural replacement of
No,
Victor Osimhen.
it's not. Um, yeah, they're not. They're very different profile in terms of like
Yeah.
that's like
They how he links up with the wingers. It's like how can I say? He can actually like make those runs in between the center backs and um, uh, fullbacks, uh, and Kvaratskhelia picks up those sort of moments really well.
yeah,
So let's see how it goes for them. But for cup matches, I think they should actually keep those players and make another run for the Champions League
yeah.
next season.
Um, I was really disappointed they've gone out against Milan. Um,
And I know I'm not actually. I told you. I probably texted you in the league
no,
games
you did,
against.
you did even mention one of the
Yeah,
episodes. These are tricky games, and Milan had quite a bit of success against
yeah,
them.
how they stopped because Milan does not have space except like Rafael Leao and Theo Hernandez. They don't have much space, but how they actually blocked the whole Napoli team. It was like whole all three matches because they just won because they are Milan. You know, for mentality when they like press them in certain positions, like especially they block the defensive connection between the defensive midfielders with Olivier Giroud and Rafael Leao basically like a front two, and they are blocking that sort of like a mid block, and then like Napoli doesn't have any, how can I say, anywhere to go but towards the wings, and if you are going on like around the wings, not through the wings actually, the defensive team actually have like can double down anytime, and Milan team actually shifted actually like 4-2-3-1, so like they could have actually doubled down in any players any times, so that actually changed the whole game. And it was suddenly a physical game, and everyone was jumping up and down to get the second ball and third balls and stuff like that, and that's how actually they changed the game.
Yep. But what do you make of some other Italian teams? Say now Juventus with that deduction of points, they're still in the second position. Um,
No, no deduction, they actually got back the points.
did they?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice. I thought the deduction
No, no,
was.
no, they were in the like seventh or sixth position, and then they got back points, and now they are like three or second. I don't know.
I think second. Yeah, if I'm correct.
Yeah, yeah,
But
but Inter Inter was doing well in the cup matches, and I sort of knew that like they will go through. What's his name? Benfica, because of experience and some other players are lining up, and everything was lining up because also Romelu Lukaku started playing well at that around this time actually. So and Lautaro Martinez is something else since the World Cup. I think he's the highest scoring player since the World Cup so far. And finally, picks it up and took his team to the final. So it was brilliant, and also like he probably scored in the Copa Italia games in Saudi Arabia probably. So yeah, in the cup matches, Inter Milan is something else actually. And Well, speaking of Serie A, Juventus solved some problems. Actually, I also like caused some problems as well. So I don't know.
That's typical Alec
how to.
regime. uh,
Yeah, exactly. But
they're, they're
I don't
just
know. Like
they're just
so
there
many
for
players.
some personal, like personal and personal moments of certain players.
Yeah, also like some players want to leave. So I don't know. Like it depends what they're getting. Rabio is doing well. Uh, then he dropped his form. Then he came back again. So it's ups and downs. And whenever they're trusting their like academy products, they
They're not.
seems doing well actually.
Yeah, they're
But they are
doing
not
well
like in
and
the
yeah,
in the
consistent.
age profile, like yeah. So
Someone like Locatelli is not done well so
uh,
far. Um,
I don't think actually Locatelli is a like Locatelli is a good player, but I don't think he's fit for this team actually.
yeah,
So does I think it would be a perfect day if they played Paredes a little bit consistent, but he
I
has
think
some issues in dressing rooms
yeah,
with
probably,
Allegri, I guess.
probably. Um, but yeah, again, that's
Also, I think
Juventus.
Di Maria is leaving probably after the season,
Um, but I thought he
but it
was
will be.
extending.
I'm not sure actually, but it would be how can I say sad to see because like he's for them actually because he's one of the standout player whenever he's playing. That goal actually, that carving goal. Oh my god, it's unbelievable. But yeah, he has some fitness problem. He's 35 to 36. I don't know.
Yeah, makes sense, I guess.
And
Um,
PSI was injured for a long time. That also
yeah,
caused a lot of problem.
I guess the type of player he will be injury prone as well. I mean, there's
They
such
Yeah, they should actually start the rebuilding right now, like what both Milans did. Um, like few years, they took the year. Now they're playing Champions League semifinals. So it took years to come back. And if you don't have money, Juventus has money, but not like
not
after
anymore.
the not
Not after
anymore.
Cristiano
Yeah,
Ronaldo.
no, no.
Sadly. Um,
Uh,
uh, yeah. Uh,
so let's see.
yeah. What's your? You did mention about a little bit of Inter Milan and a little bit of AC Milan. Um, so Inter Milan is definitely is one of the very interesting team. I mean, there are a lot of makeshift players in the midfield. Say, for example, Çalhanoğlu, who's not really a defensive midfielder, he's been converted into one. There's obviously Barella, and a lot has been dependent on Lautaro Martinez. But we were a little surprised at how much space Zeko kind of like he's getting a lot of game time um, in bigger matches as well. Like he's what 39, 40 years old.
Yeah, I think. Well, I thought about it because like his fast touches are like so heavy, and whenever they are going to counter attacks, Lautaro is giving him ball in like a really good advanced position, like it's his natural instinct like as a striker to go forward, but he's not that guy anymore. So like he has to think actually like, but he doesn't seem to do that sort of thinking in the middle of the game, you know. I think, and also like with Lukaku is a really good blast player for like 10-15 minutes still. Uh, but Lukaku does not have the aerial ability that Edin Dzeko have actually. Edin Dzeko has. So the problem is that like they're only playing Dzeko because of the long balls from the back because they cannot actually go through middle to the all midfielders. They have to rely both on their wing backs. Either is like Guzens or
Dimarco.
Dimark.
Hmm.
DiMarco, yeah, or
Dumfries.
Dumfries. That yeah, that side. Dumfries was outstanding against like what's his name? AC Milan. He basically destroyed Theo Hernandez. Um, but the thing is that like they have actually like those sort of passes from the middle, but to going forward or like normally they play against like a really good physical teams with like a really good center backs. So only way to go past those like by winning second balls, like because after you get the second ball to Lautaro Martinez, he's like clever enough to get you into the spaces. So that's why Dzeko is playing instead of Romelu Lukaku, because he brings on the ball and gives some spaces to. Otherwise, I like Joaquim Correa is like way better option in a way.
Yeah. But again, they have the luxury of. I think they managed very well, like especially Inzaghi. I mean,
Yeah.
he managed his four strikers, four different kind of forwards very well. Um, but talking about obviously AC Milan, they have a lot of limitation as a
Mm.
squad, and it shows. But whatever they've achieved, I mean, I don't know what they're sitting in the table at this point, but there's a lot of there's a time Lazio was second, and then they started to draw, lose the games. So I don't know if the top four discussion is yet been really been done because Napoli and Juventus looked to be out in the front, but I don't know who else is very close. I think Inter is in very good form as well. You can back them up.
Inter, I don't think like last few games they were only focusing on Champions League,
I think they
and they
were
dropped some
they
players.
no, I think they've done very well in the last few games in the Serie A. If I'm correct.
No, before that actually, because they there were some injury problems, and players are coming back from injuries right now, so they are doing well. That's why, like last 1 month especially.
Yeah,
So they
the
only need like one or two win to like how can
I
I
think
say
they're right now sitting on the
uh,
third.
cement their yeah to cement the Champions League position. I think one there are like 3 games left. So if they win one or two, then that's it.
Yeah.
AC Milan is going to miss them actually if Lazio is going there.
Well, you never know with Lazio.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We were so hopeful in the beginning of the season,
Yeah,
but then we lost our hope, and then other teams are dropping points, and Lazio came up from nowhere.
yeah. I think there's certain team with a certain runs. Now the problem is if the run is quite timely, it's good. But if it's
Yeah.
not really, then you start to drip in. But I don't have really much to articulate about Serie
What
A and
about Roma?
oh Roma. Roma is actually heavily dependent on Paulo Dybala, and if Paulo is not fit,
Yeah.
it's a little bit boring to see them, and some games they're not really great at all. But I think they're not going to make it. I can certainly say not at least for the Champions League spots for sure, unless they win the Europa League.
Yeah, with Mourinho, you never know.
Yeah, fair enough. But
Here's a funny statistics actually. Um, Sevilla played 5 Europa League final. They like five finals. They never lost. Mourinho played 5 finals. He never lost.
so someone has to
So
lose. Yeah.
someone has to lose.
Well, that
Oh, hey,
Sevilla and this Sevilla, there's a little bit like way
yeah,
difference, and also Acuna got that double yellow card,
yeah,
which is a silly way of getting a red card. I don't know why he was given a red anyway. Um, but yeah, that Sevilla team I can see they're a little bit stressed, but again, if Dybala is not really fit, they do have chance.
I think Dybala will be fit, I guess, like, well, because he looks well so far last few games.
Well, he didn't play this last last few games as well as this against
Yeah, but
Leverkusen.
against Leverkusen, they only need like 10 bodies in in front of the box.
So still, not just Dybala. There are other injury things
Yeah,
like there are a lot of other injuries going on that
yeah.
team,
Let's see, like what happens. But Mourinho also can make like creative solutions, you know. So
like parking a
you
whole
never know.
truck.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay,
or like at least take the match towards like 120 minutes, and just to see what you can do.
fair enough. But yeah, I'm not really
Previous
super.
actually games lifted actually like that Manchester United performance, and just before that they had these league games, I guess, against someone I forgot actually. After that they lifted
I think
everything
under
for
Mendili, but
Manchester.
they have not. They've lost just one game under
Yeah,
him in
only
the
one game.
10 or 12 games. He just lost one.
Yeah,
So it just shows what a job he's done so far.
yeah, true.
Um, okay, so probably covered a little bit of Syria and their respect. Oh, we haven't talked about it about Italy that they have a representative from for Champions League, Inter Milan, Roma for Europa League, and also Conference League. They have Fiorentina. Uh,
Fiorentina.
so Gabriel Batistuta played all three. He must be a very happy guy. Um,
Inter he played.
yeah, he did play a little bit,
Oh yeah, he played in Inter.
a
Yeah,
little bit
for a few.
for them. Very last part of his career. Um, but
Actually, all of the 6 teams in the European finals has Argentine players.
yeah, there are a lot of Argentine players.
World Cup,
If
World
one
Cup
Sevilla
winners.
makes a huge difference, that's like fifty
Yeah,
percent.
yeah. Other teams has like one, at least one or
One
something
or
like
two
that.
or whatever. But Sevilla has like
Yeah,
five or six. Um,
six, I guess. Yeah,
yeah, that's again. But that at least good for Italian team to represent in each of the category of the European final. And I
I think Argentine players are there because of there are Italian clubs, old connections,
or Sevilla.
or Sevilla.
Yeah. Um, well, yeah. Now City has at least two,
One.
but probably one. If you add Peroni, he was who never really played a
Oh,
minute.
Peroni.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're good signs. I mean, a lot of
Yeah, like
team.
1 year ago, like by this time, English media was so critical about Italian clubs. They are not anywhere near and everything.
Yeah.
And technically, it was a better league in a way because the teams actually had to make creative solutions because they don't have money.
Hmm.
So in a way, it's a huge achievement. So without money, like most of the Inter Milan players cost nothing. AC Milan players cost nothing because they are bought basically from
Yeah.
like lower leagues and from academies or throughout like older players who does not have any contracts, stuff like that, mid
Yeah.
thirties.
That's why Dzeko is still playing at Inter Milan. Like what?
And if he scores against Manchester City and City lose, it would be fun actually
Yeah.
because
Like.
Jacko is the one who actually brings them back against that QPR game in
Yeah.
2012.
Exactly. Exactly.
Just before the Aguero moment.
Yeah. Exactly. And that looks like for decades at least. Before decades.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
No, it was 2012. It was 11 years ago.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, almost there. Yeah, right.
He's
Um,
39 or something
it
around that age.
was 25 then. uh, yeah, that would be funny. Old Jeko scoring against his former teammate or former team. Um, but yeah, I mean, what I wanted to say, there's a good representation, and some Italian teams have done so well.
And
Um,
it's not like a good representation. They all can win, you know. Um,
yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, there are ways Milan Inter can create chaos to City, and
Actually, I want to do. I will do a preview in Milan can
for
hurt City.
for sure. And also, I think the Roma has a very good chance with Paulo Dybala in, and Fiorentina looks to be in good form, especially Nico Gonzalez playing well, and the other what's his name? They have very good midfield as well. Um,
Mm,
so it looks pretty doable for at least. I mean, at least in two of the games they have chance.
yeah,
Not sure against Manchester City how much chance you're giving. You're giving them as a probably they're more of a outsider. Like it would be surprising against now at
yeah,
this point if City is lost by Inter Milan. It would be surprising.
yeah. True, of course.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's talk about. I wanted to talk about a bit of German drama, especially in Bayern Munich. Let's head towards Germany and talk from. Let's hear from the horse's mouth. Go ahead with the Bayern Munich drama.
Well, drama actually like started, I guess, like few years ago.
Hmm.
Like with Hansi Flick, they won the Champions League, and then he had some issues with the board, and board let him go. Um, and they did not face like any sort of criticism. So because like from the because like there are players who can actually win you the leagues. It doesn't matter who was playing. Also, like Dortmund's like form was not like it was hot and cold.
Well,
Um,
that's a classic Dortmund.
yeah,
Hmm.
of course. So they are actually went out like without any consequences, and there were some senior players like started like for example, Lewandowski, they don't have much problems. Actually, he wanted to sign a new contract with longer years, but they didn't want him to. They want him to give him like 1 year extension, and because they were chasing Haaland at that time. Uh, Also, like some other players, I forgot who was there. They were chasing two players actually, Haaland and someone else. But the thing is that like Lewandowski wants a little bit secure contract.
I
Like
think wasn't it an
players said,
RB Leipzig player or was it?
yeah, 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 yeah. He went to Dortmund. Um, Forgot his
Anyway,
name.
yeah. Let's go back.
Yeah, the thing is that like after that, uh, it escalated a little bit. But with Nagelsmann, he established a really good relationship with like certain players, and suddenly, like out of nowhere, uh, those players find themselves in a situation like uh, they don't want to. How can I say? They found that like Nagelsmann is not playing, like he's not going to be there anymore. Which is like they before that like like Nagelsmann started clicking after the second part of the season. We discussed the technicality probably for a while. Um, he started clicking like in the second half of the season like really well, even though there are some injury problems with like attackers like
Sunny.
Mane, Sane, also Gnabry has some problems. Um, but before City games, like 10 days before, they appointed Thomas Tuchel. Like it made some players like Kimmich unhappy. Some other players also like that incidents with what's his name?
Mane punching
Uh,
Sunny.
No. That was dealt with. That was well dealt actually. What's his name? Manuel Neuer, the skiing
Uh,
incident. After that, they fired the goalkeeper coach. They brought a new goalkeeper, which like okay, that means like the current backup goalkeepers are not good enough for the league. So that there are so many decisions. Also, like monetary situations is not like they're thinking about expansion, but they don't have that sort of things. Also, I think Allianz Arena was renewed few years ago. There are some also issues with that, also like contract as well, and mostly actually the pipeline between the Bayern Munich's youth and um, main team is cut off basically during this how can I say uh,
this,
management.
yeah, yeah.
So like that is a lot of problems. Also, Oliver Kahn is not like a cool-headed guy they have
Never
before
was.
Rummenigge. No, never was. So and
And
Bayern can
what the
only
other
elect.
guy's name? Hassan Sami Halovic or something.
Yeah.
That guy has, I don't know how he can be an
He doesn't
administrator.
have any respect for any footballs. Like he does not
He's
see the
probably a
football
good
as a
yes
football.
man.
Probably, most likely. And thing is that like with Bayern Munich, they only can elect ex players. Um, so as a CEO or director or something like that. So that is also like another issues with like that wasn't a issue with certain players, but that is sort of getting there now. So
Well, if
I don't
I'm
know, like there are
correct,
some.
uh, well, I'm not sure how is everyone's relationship with others, but then there's still Oliver Bierhoff who has stepped down from German, um, I think youth system or something. Still, seems to be very smart guy. Again, I don't know
No,
who,
Bierhoff is like whenever he was playing, he was considered one of the most clever like midfielder at the time.
striker.
Sorry, striker at the time. Bierhoff on whenever he was playing because he does not have that blistering skills like
Yeah,
Gerd
pace.
Muller
Yeah, yeah, right.
or Klinsmann or something like that. He has like he was really clever at the time. So thing is that like
And one of the
with new
reason
system,
Germany won 2014 because of his continuous work from 2006 onward, or actually before 2004, 2003, 4. He worked really hard in the
they
youth
started
system
that project actually 2000 after the World Cup, and it was like after 2004,
too.
I guess. Like yeah,
Yeah,
2004, it it was materialized everything, and they got those players like Schweinsteiger and this generation from that
Sami
actually.
Khedira, the Uzils and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Mm.
But I think I'm not. I don't envy this chaos and drama because I'm enjoying it. Against, I mean, I don't have a soft spot for Bayern Munich, but it's the institution that normally dominates, and I want to see that monopoly
No,
being
it also actually like brings back like really good players to the system. Also, they actually have a really good revenue, like sending players and on loan, but which actually dropped recently, quite a few. So
And
that's the
what
thing
I
actually.
don't understand, on certain position they went for big money players or big money spending, like without even thinking. And on certain
Mm.
position they're like miser, is probably the world's greatest miser on that kind of position. Say for example Choupo-Moting. I mean, no disrespect to the guy, but if you had to play Choupo-Moting as your main striker as Bayern Munich, that doesn't really suit you.
No, not at all. But I don't think they wanted to spend anything in the
Yeah,
striking
that's
position.
what I'm saying. But they spend just on
And
the summers.
actually, yeah, actually, like I said, they got away with so many things. Like with Coman, like they did not want to spend any money for wingers. Like this age, wingers are like more expensive players than even striker. Um, like they got Coman, I guess, for only few million euro from PSG. Genarby actually they exploited that.
A
He was an
rejection. Yeah.
Arsenal's academy player, and they actually exploited that thing because there are some contract issue with him and Wenger at the time, or Unai Emery, I forgot whoever there was, and they exploited that and got Genarby. They actually were really lucky, like got away with so many things. Also, what's his name? The left side. Uh, yeah, Leroy Sané. They got him for like really cheap because
City didn't want
City
him.
wanted to get rid of. Yeah, get rid of him. So that's the thing actually. Like they got rid of so many things. They thought like they got rid of like with Choupo-Moting, I don't know for some reason. But they scouted so many players before that actually. Even their leagues have like better players than like Choupo-Moting. Yeah. Also like defensive midfield. I don't know. Like, luckily they have like Kimmich and
Yeah.
Goretzka.
Yeah.
But since Thiago left, they don't have any creative players. Like uh, Kimmich has a really good passing range. Goretzka is like a really good destroyer, but they really need someone who can actually like make those creative runs. Like when uh, uh, like Lewandowski can make like one or two touches and make space and then score, that sort of things. But no, not other. They don't have any point at there. Also like all Muller is old, I guess, like 35, 36. He
Yeah,
is
he,
way
he
past his.
really, really looked older when he was 25. So think about now. Uh,
No,
like
he's not like a physical player. He's
he's
like
more of
really,
an
really clever player.
intellect.
Probably,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He's probably the best. How can I say brain? Like players with a brain in from Germany, uh,
Well, that could be
ever.
Kimmich too,
Like
or Philip
yeah, he
Lahm.
will be. Or Philip Lam can be there. But yeah, like one of those players like who can like really think in the middle of the game and really can read actually the metrics of the game,
Hmm.
you know. So, but he's not like a really good creative passer. Then you really need someone who can actually link up all those things. And they didn't want to spend money in this sort of
Well,
cases.
again,
They
Muller
didn't want to spend money in
did
fullbacks
did
as well.
they were very lucky with Muller. How many years he been servicing them?
His whole life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, also they were lucky with Neuer. Like he served
Like
them quite a while. I don't know
yeah,
since
from
2008
from the
9.
time immemorial, I guess.
Yeah, 2008 9.
Yeah.
That's the sort
Now
of
I
thing.
can't even think of any other German Bayern Munich keeper. It goes back to Oliver Kahn.
Oliver Kahn. Yeah, yeah, true. So yeah, like they got away with so many things, and but the age profile of the players are like really not good actually. Like in a sense, like whenever they're playing younger players like Musiala or some other players, they have a certain range of performance, but they don't have the experience to finish off the game. But whenever they're playing the how can I say older players like Muller or some other players or Choupo-Moting, he's not a technical player. But the problems with those sort of games, German players can be like in German leagues, players can be like physical in like in no times. Whenever they sniff those sort of fears, I mentioned it again and again. Like those like six division, seven division games I watched, they can be like squeeze the space sometimes and get like really physical and give you no space. And they sometimes like can be like low block and like really go to attack and really harm you in no times actually. So eh, German league games can change in like few minutes. And in certain games those older players are they don't actually react that much actually that faster. So they don't actually have this balance like with younger players and the older player. Yeah, yet again, like they brought Mane, but I don't think he's going to stay after this season.
Yeah,
Sane is fairly experienced, but Sane has injury problems as well as what's this
some
consistency
some
issue sometimes.
decision making of his in the game. Yeah, it's been
Yeah, yeah, they had like really good, how can I say, good things going on with Ganarby, but last 1.5 year, he's not actually, how can I say,
at that level.
uh,
After Hansi
no,
Flick,
he's at that level actually, but thing is that like he's playing in different position, which is not actually good for him. Like for Hansi Flick, he was playing more like a narrow attacker, and for Nagelsmann, he has to go a little bit wider, and also like he did not have the same support from the right backs that he had with Hansi Flick. So, and he's like a really good, how can I say, transitional players, and with he can link up with players and make spaces, and he's not getting those sort of things. Whenever he's getting his, like, he looks well, but whenever he's not there. Also, like there are other issues with his contracts as well. Like he wants a longer contract, I guess. Like, but they are offering probably him for like 4 years or something like that.
that's
So
classic Bayern Munich.
yeah, like they're not willing to spend money anywhere. I don't know.
Fair enough. Uh, but yeah, let's see how. But again, we're talking about we're up against them, Dortmund, or probably RB
Yeah.
Leipzig, or maybe
2 games to go. 1 points, like
yeah.
difference.
I don't know. I
It
think
can go anyway.
yeah, it would be a really fluke if Dortmund can clinch it, but still there's a
I
bit of
hope. Yeah.
race.
Yeah, at least to the last match. If Dortmund doesn't win it, sorry, doesn't lose that game.
Who are they playing against?
Werder Bremen was playing. Oh no, uh, Leipzig is playing today against Bayern Munich.
Oh, that game
Last game,
would be the
yeah, last game will
last
be,
hope.
yeah, and last game will against Cologne.
Yeah. So yeah, let's see. Uh, Still some excitement, but I guess we can wrap it up at this point.
Yeah,
Or do we want to talk about Leo Messi and PSG?
there's nothing to talk about that actually. PSG, they thought like they will probably pressure him in some way, like 1 or 2 months left in his contract, and he will care for them for some reason. I don't
Yeah.
know, or they thought like, I don't know, like uh, why PSG fans like has a, how come they got this, how can I say, I have like only bad words actually, got to go there in front of his house and like rattling the sort of things.
Well, because they're stupid.
Yeah, that sums up like so many things, like even like, say for Vinny Jr., there are random incidents of racism,
Yeah.
but uh, they are still there. But I'm not saying like there's. How can I say? But the thing is that like with Vinny Jr., Real Madrid had actually protested those sort of things. PSG never does.
No, no, no,
So
no, no.
that's the difference between a big club and a, like a, how can I say,
Super rich club that
new
wanna be
money,
big.
new money club.
No, I think there's a problem with the fan culture. There's a problem with the clubs
Ownership
culture.
culture as well.
Yeah, clubs culture.
Yeah,
And also, if everyone thinks themselves as a too big of a person, then
yeah,
it would definitely cause chaos, definitely. Um, so with PSG,
No,
I
even
mean,
though, yeah, sorry to interrupt. Even though the clubs is wrong in this case, like he didn't let him know that like there is a training session up until he was
well,
on the plane.
that was never an issue. The issue was he didn't sign an extension. That was the major issue.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
never was an issue. So that I mean, you could read between the lines. Um, but it seems like unlikely if they're going for Rafael Leao and getting rid of Messi and Neymar and stuff like that. Well, good for them with Rafael Leao. Not saying Rafael is not a great player, but it's not
I
in
don't
this.
think Rafael Leo will be interested in there because I saw Rafael Leo's interviews and he was saying like he wanted to play in England.
Fair enough. Everyone wants to play in England. Um, but again, I
These
mean,
days, it's actually more attracting than playing in, I don't know, some uh, big clubs, so-called big club in Paris.
I don't know if they're actually a big club if they're throwing tantrums on their bigger players.
That's the thing, actually. Like Amy Martinez was saying to Ian Wright, there was an interview. He was saying like some Argentine fans were like visiting Aston Villa after the World Cup win and stuff like that, and they were so surprised that Aston Villa is that big of a club. And uh, like the thing is that with culture and everything, like
Yeah,
you
Aston
can
Villa is
actually feel
actually,
both of
you
the
can
same.
argue Aston Villa is actually bigger than PSG because of the culture and
Of course,
yeah, everything,
of course, even like Nottingham Forest is bigger than PSG.
for sure. Um,
They are fighting for relegation,
or even someone like Fulham.
of
Um,
course.
but again, let's not go there. Well, I don't want to go back to talk about it. But I thought it was very well summed up by Thierry Henry. It's
Yeah,
basically say that there's a fan is a problem and the ownership, not the players.
Emmanuel Petit also like saying like
Yeah,
uh,
I saw that too.
so was different again also. Yeah, but yeah, like if you want to play with a bigger player, you have to have those sort of culture around you. Like if
And
you want to
also a
win
team,
something,
and also a team.
yeah, also
They're a bit of newbies and a bit of retirees. That's about it.
yeah,
And some stars
yeah, true.
and glitters and no bling bling, but there was bling bling.
Of course, there was bling bling from only one guys.
Yeah. The president
Oh,
Embo.
funny thing is that like Real Madrid, it says that like they are not interested in uh, Mbappe anymore because
That's
they think that like Vini is perfect.
that's always real. Um, like if they say
Policy.
that they're not interested, that they're definitely more interested.
But it could actually destroy the Real's current system because how they're rebuilding and on like, so we have talked about it like there are only like they need only like 2 3 players to like complete in all front.
um, but I think it would be. I mean, someone should have just drifted to Florentino Perez. It's the new supernova and galaxy of stars. So he
They're
might.
also exploiting Haaland option.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Go for all of them. That would be great.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But what do you think, Carlo Ancelotti for Brazil?
I think that was just a rumor. I don't think
No, actually,
Ancelotti. I don't think he's not gonna go if he's not been sacked by Real.
he won't actually. So far, the reports are concerned.
Exactly. So I think he's well. Carlo is a very brainy guy. He's a witty guy, right? So he knows he can still get.
He worked under Sachi, so
Yeah, yeah, and fair enough. And also, there are a lot of other players worked under Sachi, like Ruud Gullit, who
Yeah.
wasn't really a very brainy guy.
No,
Um,
no, no. Actually, he was his assistant uh,
no, no, fair enough.
after his retirement.
Fair enough. I get that part too. And Ruud Gullit himself coached Chelsea and stuff like that, and a big name in the football universe. But what I'm trying to say is, Carlo knows that he has probably at least 1 or 2 more years with Real, and then he can go
Yeah.
to national team, whatever he can choose, right? So, and in the worst case scenario, right now Brazil, I guess, has a caretaker coach or something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, they have a caretaker.
they have a
But
caretaker coach.
the thing is that like nobody in Brazil, like for example, see if you saw the team like they dominated like last few years, they're not like run by any Brazilian
No,
coaches.
and most of the Brazil ex player has been in the politics rather than in the football. Uh,
And most monies are there actually.
Fair enough.
They're cutting off Amazon forest. So
Well, that's again Romario calling Bebeto a traitor very recently on the one of the assemblies. What
for
was
Romario, it's always him against the world. So
fair enough. It's although they're like Romario was left-footed, but he's more towards right wing on the politics, and Bebeto is a right-footed, but he's more on the left wing. So, yes,
it's like they're playing like left-footed players and the right wing, right-footed players on the
yeah,
right
the
wing. That sort of thing.
so they can cut inside. Makes sense.
Cut inside.
But yeah, coming back to the Brazilian situation, I think Carlo might delay at this point because he's staying in Real is really as
No, he's
possibility.
like he last time he declared basically like he wanted to retire from Real Madrid, like retiring retire from coaching from Real Madrid actually.
Okay.
But with Brazil comes up like and also like his players basically like 3 4 players like Eder Militao is there, um, Vini, Rodrigo, Casemiro. I don't know.
Was
He
there?
will be
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
he will be hang around like he will play for like only like 2 4 3 4 more years. He's only 31.
But I fear for like Brazilian whoever is going to take over Brazilian team. It's there's a lot
Yeah,
of
it will be a lot of criticism from local newspaper.
yeah, and also
With also like he has to choose at least like 1 or 2 players from Brazilian league, which he might not sometimes.
yeah,
So that would be an issue as well.
and some Brazilian talent have done very well in the Europe and even say in Real Madrid very often. But then again, um, there are certain things doesn't work on the national team.
Yeah.
Um,
No, but with Carlo, it's like he's more like a situational player and tournament based, you know, coach.
no, I get that. I get that part too. But still, certain things doesn't work in a certain way, and he can fix that. I'm not saying he can't, but I mean, why do you go to Brazil if you're still Real Madrid coach?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Again, could have talked a lot. I mean, this has been for quite a marathon of couple hours or more than almost 3 hours.
Oh my
I
god.
I guess we should wrap it up. And
Yeah, we should
we have a lot more
for
to
the sake of our viewers.
if they're alive. I'll try to upload it in parts, so at least. I mean, if they're seeing it, we would like to be more
Yeah.
kind of regular in our recordings.
Oh, I forgot to mention actually. Um, River Plate won the Super Classico.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think
Have you watched that game? It was a battle at the end.
no, I didn't. I didn't
It's
actually.
not like technically that good
No,
game,
that those
but in
games
a
are
way,
really emotional.
it's a, yeah, really good. Like it's not like really good, but how can I say? There were cards everywhere. See
No,
that?
I think Martin Demichelis can be a very good coach. I've seen a little bit of what he's assembled. I think he's. It looks to be a very smart guy. Um, but again, it's very early days.
Well, yeah. Also, like Demichelis played under some interesting coaches.
Hmm.
He played in Bayern Munich actually with
Manchester
that,
City.
yeah, City also. Yeah, he was in the team actually, like, right?
Yeah,
The 2012
yeah.
winning team,
He
right?
was.
Oh, so yeah, Mancini is an interesting guy. Also, like before that, he played under what's his name, the guy who owned the travel for Bayern Munich,
Uh, George
the
George
coach.
Happiness.
Jupp Heynckes, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. It will be an interesting mix, I guess,
yeah.
mix of ideas.
Yeah, and also he played
Also, like
Is
Bielsa,
his
right?
he played a season under even Pep in Bayern? No, I'm not sure about that.
No, 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 not Pep. It was already too late.
Yeah, Happiness, and then he came to City. Yeah, he had Mancini for sure. I think the who was after Mancini. But anyway, he had a string of great coaches. He played under Bielsa for sure. Played under Coco Basile. Played under Sabea.
Yeah, it would be interesting because like the team like is going through a lot of rebuild.
No, no.
Like
I
so
think
many
he
players have left
already
already.
revived and already brought
Yeah,
back Nacho
but
Fernandez.
winning against like winning against Boca right away after like in the first Clasico, Super Clasico especially. It's a big boost for him.
I think he's reviving some careers there for sure.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you
Yeah.
think Gallardo is coming in Europe this season?
Again,
He doesn't have any other option right now.
yeah. I don't know actually. To be honest, I haven't seen any kind of news.
It would be nice to see him in Spain, I guess.
Yeah, probably.
Betis or
But
something.
again, it's anybody's guess at this point.
Yeah.
But I don't want to extend this episode
Yeah.
anymore. I think we've talked
True. Yeah.
endless from like we have literally aged while while recording this this episode. Fun part. Thank you whoever is watching us. In case you have questions, let us know. We can say that with AI we can answer in any kind of language. And we are human being right now. We're not bunch of robots yet. Any final thoughts, Sudipta?
Not really.
Okay,
Probably we'll do some previews, I guess, like in European finals. I don't know.
and
Other than that,
that will be done by us,
nothing.
not by any preview
Hey,
bots. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you if you're watching, and we'll try to be back next week.